Oh, hello. How's everyone this evening? All zero of you. It's 2 in the morning. I don't expect anybody here to show up. I was trying to get some music ready to go for the background, and then it actually come blaring through while I was playing the intro. I don't know if it came through on that or not, but that was obnoxious. I'm quickly trying to shut it off, and I click and I close it, and it still kept playing. I'm like, WTF? What is going on? Why is this still like the app is entirely closed and the music is still playing? How is it doing? And then eventually just stopped. That's, I don't know, messed up. Anywho, let me see if it'll come through now. It's going to come through like really, really loud, probably until nope, maybe not. I just wanted to. There we go. The old clinkernated chimes that used to be used on Superhost and Channel 43 years ago. Dylan, how are you, sir? I'm surprised to see you here. It's so late. Um, I kind of surprised myself that I'm here. Sort of. I'm about 4 hours behind everybody else. Not in time zones. I'm still in the same time zone. It's 2 in the morning, but because of my job, I don't get home till 1 a.m. And then I'm wide awake because of my job, and so I end up and I'm starving. I usually end up eating some food, watching something, listening to music, and it's like almost 5 a.m. by the time I get to bed. So here I am at 2 a.m. and this is like 10 for me. So I'm all set. I should have really started this earlier, and a couple of times I should have started. I went on TikTok first. I thought I'd try a little experiment, and I went on to the TikToks, and I just did that for about an hour and a half. And I've been trying to get into the habit of trying to start doing that so that I can bring people on TikTok over to here, because TikTok does get a lot of traffic. If you go live often enough, you'll get a shit ton of people on a regular basis. And then if I can get them interested in coming over to the YouTubes, um, then I can maybe start building my audience here from whoever I can draw over from the TikToks. But oh, I totally understand, Dylan. Don't worry about it. If you got to go to bed, man, if you're tired, I'm hoping maybe I'll get some love on the replays. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. That is kind of a little annoying, isn't it? If it's a little too loud. I used to have this. There's this music. There's a bit of a story behind this music. Um, yeah. Um, so I went on TikTok, and I should have gone on TikTok sooner because I spent about an hour to an hour and a half on TikTok, and then I should have come on here immediately after. I left TikTok way too late, so because I ended up getting some food first and issues and things I won't get into. um, then when I came on, of course, Josh was on. I wanted to draw something really quick, and I got listening to Josh, and I got drawing. Spent too long on it, and I wanted something for if I start doing Saturday night streams, and I made this. So I don't know. I don't like it. I might redo it, but it gives me a start anyway. So um, yeah, but I got a couple of people watching. Okay. Either um, it's West Coast people, and it's the West Coast would still be 11 o'clock, so I might get some late night West Coast people, or maybe some of my UK peoples. But UK, it's still just coming up 7:30, so that might be too early for them. But I really want to get some UK love going here. Um, oh, did it? Okay. Do the same. I don't know, man. We'll see. He gets going on stuff sometimes, and I came in here really, really, really unprepared. I should have come on earlier, and I would have been better. But I can show you something I'm going to be doing besides this stupid thing here. One second. Let's close this, and I'll bring myself back here. Um, I was going to say something else. let's turn this down because that is a little distracting on loop. It's cute for just a few minutes, but then after about like 10 minutes, I consider it much. But that music, by the way, is from a show I used to watch. I used to watch a show called Superhost, and he played that. He would host movies. He'd do Saturday afternoons is where I saw the Godzilla movies and a lot of Universal monster movies and that kind of thing. And he'd show 2 movies in the afternoon. He'd have 1 hour like Laurel and Hardy and Three Stooges. Then he'd go into 2 movies. And he was this funny character dressed in a mix between like, it looked like a superhero costume, but also kind of a clown costume at the same time. He did the show for 20 years. And so the set looked like a lobby, the inside of a lobby, but he had all this stuff going on at the same time. It was a great show, though. It was a really great show. And that music would play in the background. I had 2 people a minute ago. I had some extra viewers and they're gone. What happened? But yeah, so he... let's see what I've got here. But yeah, I watched that every Saturday afternoon, and that music would loop in the background. It's actually called Clinkernated Chimes, and it's from the Mad album. And Mad, meaning Mad Magazine, they actually had an album of these little funny comedy, silly pieces of music. And that was something randomly, I think, written for that album. It was produced in the late 60s, and that was the middle portion of that piece of music. It was just instrumental, and then they just had that middle portion on loop. And that's but I'm so used to hearing that for so many years, for like 20 years when I watched that show. That was always playing in the background while he'd read local announcements and things like that, and or he'd show pictures that kids would send in, or he'd have a funny little skit or something would be going on, and then that would just be looping in the background. All right, let me see if I can find, if you're still there with me. I know I got 2 people watching, but something I wanted to work on. I had an idea for something, and I need to actually find it again. I know I've got this stuff saved. Give me one moment. Let me see if I can do a search. I've told people the story that I used to work at Nelvana for just a short time, on and off for a couple of years, and I did Babar the Elephant. I did some in-betweening for that, but I didn't like in-betweening. It was really monotonous, and I wasn't great at it. I did the job. I did it, I suppose. I was too slow, and I didn't. It's very monotonous, and people were really good at it. Some people not so much, but it wasn't what I wanted to do. And then there was an opening for I'm trying to get on doing backgrounds for Mumphy's Christmas, which was sort of a Babar knockoff. This little elephant, and it was they did two movies, I think, with that, and it was just all the voices were done by the same guy who was narrating it. The animation is quite nice, but that was done across the street at a place called Phoenix Animation, which is in Toronto, but it was called Phoenix Animation, right across the street from Nelvana. And there I am out of focus again. By the way, I apologize, Dylan, and whoever else is watching. If you put in a comment, I see it about 30 seconds to a minute after you type it in. It's this terrible delay on this thing. I don't know why it drives me nuts, but I will see it. So I worked. I landed a job. There was an opening for layout, and I did a layout test and landed an open position on Rupert the Bear, and it was really nice. I actually really enjoyed it because the backgrounds were fairly easy to draw. Not to say it was an easy job or anything like that, but I liked doing them because it was so organic, and it was such a. It's a storybook. They come out of it's based on a storybook, so it's supposed to have a certain storybook look to it, and they're from the UK, and all the voice actors were terrible fake British accents. They were all Canadian actors doing these really bad British accents, and I thought nobody had any training on that, I guess, but I just thought that was weird that especially the main character. But anyways, regardless, it was a cute show, and it was fun to do, and that was more my thing. I actually really enjoyed that because you do a little bit of everything. You get the storyboard, and you take a panel, and basically what you do is you break it down. So it shows a character has to walk through a scene. Maybe he does something. Maybe he picks up a ball and he walks through a door. So you draw the background. You draw the character to show the main points of the path of action that he's going to be taking on other sheets. You show anything like match lines or overlays. So if he's going to walk behind an object, there might be a match line where the animation has to stop where it's going behind that, if that makes any sense. So if he goes through a door or he goes behind a bush, through a door, you would definitely have to have a match line. A bush could be an overlay, or it could just simply do a match line and he walks past it. And the animator has to line up the drawing with the edge of that bush. That bush has to be very solid. So then the background drawing, once that's done, the background drawings go to the background painters. They paint them. The key drawings in the motion then goes to the animators who animates that sequence. Then that'll go to the in-betweeners, etc., and then to the cel painters. Then I also have instructions, any camera instructions, that because you'll have a chart that shows whether it's a close-up or a wide shot, and you need to kind of indicate that on the position of the camera and approximately how long that scene will be, etc. So all that information that goes to all those different people. And it was great because I felt like I did a little bit of everything. You weren't animating, you weren't doing the key poses in full animation, but you were showing key points, just enough to give direction of what that character was going to do. And then the animator will actually put in the key poses, and he actually animates it with all the main key poses in that. And he has to follow your path that you've laid out for him. So it was great stuff. It was so much. I really enjoyed it, and I was looking forward to trying to get on other projects. And I thought after Rupert, I wanted to try and get on, because they had a lot of stuff going. This was the early mid '90s, and they had a lot going on, and it's hard to explain, but I kind of missed an opening. I was hoping to get on the Beetlejuice cartoon, and it actually just ended just as I was starting, which was a real shame. Let's see if I can open something up here. Clip Studio Paint. We'll get Clip Studio Paint open here. Yeah, the story is kind of a little embarrassing, but I didn't. It's my own damn fault, is what it is, really. I listened to the wrong people, and I was concerned about making sure rent was paid, and I was living with people, and I ended up being kind of, because I was, after that job was finished, you're off for a season, and because I was new, I might have had to do another test to get back on the next season. They weren't sure if it was going to be renewed that year. There was a bit of a delay, and there wasn't really much going on at the studios. And the people I was living with, there was kind of some pressure to make sure rent was paid. And I understand that. 100% understand that. So I had to, I should maybe start showing this on stream in just a minute. I felt like I kind of got pressured to get some work right away, and I ended up just taking a job like flipping burgers and Blockbuster, and I was doing two at the same time. And when you do that, you get home and you're burnt. I'm not very good with customer service, dealing with people like that. I didn't realize, Gen X, we're supposed to take everything, and we sort of don't. We just sucked it up and shut up. But it sent my anxiety through the roof. When I get home and I just kind of want to watch TV or forget about whatever it is I had to deal with, and to try and get down to Toronto again and pick up another test, find out what was going on was difficult, and I kind of got pressured to leave it for a while. But it's hard to do that on your time off, and it's just weeks turned into months, turned into years. I did, and then I did caricatures for a while, right? So that I felt like I kind of had some redemption in doing caricatures, and I did that for quite a while. Still do them once in a while. One of the shows that Nelvana did that I would have loved to have gotten on, because I thought it was such a cute show, was Bob and Margaret. And it was a British produced show, but the animation was done at Nelvana. They had a contract with Nelvana to do the animation for the show. The money was put up in England. All the voice actors, all the voice work was all recorded in England and sent over, and then Nelvana just animated it. I guess maybe it was a little cheaper that way, and we kind of had some joints with the studios in the UK. But it's based off of a short. It was originally an animated short done in the UK called Bob's Birthday, I think, and it won an Academy Award. It was at least nominated. I can't remember if it won it. It may have won it. I think it did, but it was at least nominated. But if you ever have a chance to look for Bob's Birthday, it's on YouTube. It's funny as all hell. It's one of those little awkward shorts where this guy comes home. It's his birthday, and he doesn't want any fuss, and he comes in, and everybody's hiding to say happy birthday. And I forget the reason why, but they don't spring out and say anything right away. And he's just saying all these awkward things, and he's doing all this awkward stuff and doesn't realize everybody's hiding in the house watching. And it's really funny. So it got a green light to have a series made, and it was just called Bob and Margaret. And I love its simplistic style. It's kind of what I call the wiggly line style. The episodes are all on YouTube. It went 4 seasons, but I believe the first 2 were completely, as I said, it was produced in the UK, but Nelvana produced the animation. And then it was canceled, but Nelvana kind of rescued it and wanted to continue it. But a couple of the voices had to be redone. The guy had to be rehired, and you could tell there's a difference in the voice when it goes into season 3. And then they changed the premise. Rather than have it continue to take place in England, they had the characters move to Toronto. And the last 2 seasons continued with the characters starting a new life in Toronto and how these British people adjusted to living in Canada. And it was never quite as good. I don't think it was ever quite as good. It's still kind of cute, but you knew there was something different about it that wasn't quite the same. But I love the design work on it. What I was thinking of doing, because I thought I'd do this whole demonstration on what's involved with layout, and I've been talking, how long have I been yakking for? 20 minutes. I'm so sorry. I was going to actually start doing some drawings and do a little test with this, and I've just been here yakking my face off. I apologize. Poor Dylan, he's probably, if he's still there, probably fall asleep now in front of your computer. I've got 2 people watching me, though. I don't know who's watching. But I thought what would be fun is to do a demonstration on layout. And because I thought Bob and Margaret would have been such a fun show to work on, that would have been great. I dug up a couple of scenes, and I thought I would show how it would have been done. Treat them as storyboards, and then even though they're completed scenes, I would redraw the background, indicate any match lines or overlays, and just do it as a layout package. What I would have done on the layout package, but I do it on the tablet, of course. It's a little hard to do the setup now. I don't have the right kind of. I do have peg bars, and I do have papers. I'm not sure the papers were punched or not. But it's a little awkward to set it up with the camera over top, and I need a light table, which I don't have right now. It's easier for me to put it through through the tablet. I don't know. I thought that might have been something kind of fun to do and show what's involved in doing layout. And if anyone was interested in that kind of work, mind you, it's different now. I'd have to do it the way we used to do it. And that's the other thing too, is that I would have to figure out is that by the time that show came on television, it was the very late 90s, and like coloring was already being done digitally. They no longer did cells. They didn't paint cells, so that was already a step that was bypassed. And what was the other thing? Well, it was the drawings were all scanned in. So things like the backgrounds, I'm pretty sure it was all still physically painted. I don't think they were doing digital painting at the time. It just the cells, the overlays, but the backgrounds I think were still painted. But it was where we had to do match lines a lot, where a character has to move behind something. The character, if you have like an object and the character's walking by and he has to go behind it, you had to draw a match line where you're not going to see him, right? Now you could kind of, because it was done digitally, you could do part of the background overlaid, and it would have been easier to do an overlay like that way, and it would have blended in and be hidden much better at that point. Technology was still far from being perfect, but there were things like that you could do. So I don't know. I would like to do that if I can. I just don't want to get in trouble for having a scene from the show up, right? I might have to maybe try and draw it, but I would like to be able to show the scene that I'm going to do and then actually physically do it. And the scene that I picked is a little bit tricky. It's a really simple scene where the couple are sitting at the table talking, and their dog is walking around the chairs. They've got two dogs, actually. They're really funny. Because they're always together and they're always doing things almost in unison. And they're in front of the table, and then they walk around behind the chairs. And I think she gives them something, and then they put their nose up on the table. And it's just sort of going on in the background while you're listening to them talking. Sorry, there's fruit flies in this place, and they get right in your face. So yeah, I thought, anyways, I can maybe try and draw one of the characters. If anyone's familiar with the show, you know what I'm talking about. Wish I knew who else was here tonight. I think I sort of have an idea who might be here. But if you can, please say hello. Be nice to know who is here. It's being a big secret. I'm going to see if I can bring something up. By the way, today would have been, those of you who are familiar with Cass Elliot, aka Mama Cass from the Mamas and the Papas, today would have been her 84th birthday had she continued to live that long.
So just
whoops! Don't quiet. Well, I thought I turned the volume down on this. Sam does art, so I want to check that later. I need to save some things here. Okay. Why don't I just do a Google search instead of going that way? I might do is just bring up some of the characters, and I can just draw them out. I got two people. I don't know if Dylan is one of them. Matt, are you watching? My friend Matt sometimes pops in, and I know he's a night owl like me. Oh dear, this is being a pain. I just want to do this very quickly, but it's being a little bit difficult. There we go. Oh wow, some of these are on eBay. Signed by Todd Kaufman. Was that the creator? I think it was. Oh wow, and they're not that expensive either. Shipping's pricey. Shipping's about 35 Canadian, about $5 each. I thought it'd be more than that. All right, well, that's interesting because I've tried to look for stuff on this before, but I don't remember seeing these. They must have gone up recently. Oh, that's what I want. Right, there's a model sheet. Oh God, yeah. This is awesome. Sorry about that. I don't know if I can show you. There's one of the model sheets for the show. I don't know if you can see that, but to get the mouth movements down. Has a little bit of an Aardman look to it, doesn't it? I'm going to try and draw one of these. Hold on. It's really funny. The character's a dentist. And some of the designs were just really great. It'd been wonderful if you bring this back. I don't know if they'll be able to get the same voice cast and just have it take place in England. Don't have them come over to Toronto, although it was cute, but I don't know, maybe they move back again or something. I don't know. But I think that would, oh, there. Oh, can I save these? Oh, well, how did I find these now? Damn it. Oh. Sorry about that. I shouldn't have done this. I don't even know if I'm going to leave this on repeat. I was going to put this up for repeat later, but I don't think I will. I'm finding these now, and I wish I'd found these sooner. But damn, these are great. Nelvana Limited, Nelvana Corporation. Oh God. All right. So, anyways, I'm going to get these later. I will get these later. I'll do that for now. I've got a screenshot of these, but and it is on. I can't get it on DVD. I just wish. It's too bad they don't stream anywhere anymore. I don't. Because I don't have a player, and I don't. Like here's like there's a scene from it, so gives you an idea what it looked like. Pretty simplistic backgrounds, but they were a lot of this definitely has like a 90s feel to it for sure. Oh, there's the voice cast. Originally, Andy Hamilton did the voice originally, and then it was taken over by Brian George. But Alison Snowden, oh, she did Margaret. She just stayed right through to 2001. Okay, I'm gonna close this up because I'm gonna bore the hell. I got 3 people watching me for some reason. I don't know. I don't know who's watching, but what you're getting on this. But anyways, let's see if I can open one of these up and I'll see if I can draw Bob. I do apologize. All right, let's see which one of these I can do here. I like the one with him holding the phone, but that was the other one. I'm gonna do one with him holding the holding a drink. I'll do just this quick, and then I should probably get ready to bed for bed, I suppose. Even though I'm not. For that layout. There we go. Gets a little more screen in. All right. Is this all right? Does this look all right? Can everyone hear me okay? I don't even know if I'm coming through all right. I should be. There was some issues last week with my mic, but it seems to be. Audio is a Logitech Brio? Oh, no. Oh, why did you do that? Okay, Snowballs. I'm going to switch over to the Snowball. Can you hear me better? If anybody's watching, I'm sorry. I just realized I had the mic settings wrong. It always goes to the proper mic. It should go to my Snowball, and this time it did not. It's using this, and it's crap. This is a much better sound to it. Okay, thanks. Does this sound any better now that it's switched over? It should be switched over. Oops, I muted it by mistake. Test 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Okay. Am I even at the right? Real 1080p. Okay, should be 1080p. Damn it. Oh, really? Oh, that's depressing. Because this should be sounding way much better than this thing. The Logitech Brio is a great webcam for doing this sort of thing. Visually, it is. Their audio is awful. Maybe I eventually might have to sell my Snowball Blue and just get a better get a Rode mic when I can invest in one. But I can't do that until I actually have the money to throw around. And I just don't. Which is why I'm trying to do this kind of thing now. I am. Do you know there's I was on TikTok earlier, and there's a young guy on TikTok who's goes live all the time. I don't know where he has the time to do that, and I think he goes under the name Sigil, Sigil, I think, and he does really well. He does these really simplistic drawings. They're just done really quickly with Copic markers. That's very good. He does them really quick, and then just inks over them quickly. So he does the color first and then inks. They're very simplistic, but they're really good. They're actually really cute. They're actually pretty good. There's not a lot of detail in them, but for what they are, they're really cute. And you have to kind of... He's very repetitive in the way he speaks. But he's trying to be entertaining, and he puts on kind of a New York accent. Oh, hello. Welcome to the chat. Hello. And... oh, I'm doing this pretty princess today, and I'm going to give her this, and I'm going to give her, look, I put in a blue dress. What do you think? What color do you think I should do with shoes? And he would do this voice like this, right? And he just kind of keep going like that, just nonstop, constantly talking. And which I think for most people I would think probably a lot of people would go, oh, it gets really annoying, but people love it.
And now they want to buy his drawings, so that he does he'll fill like a whole page of these things. And sometimes you do bigger ones that might take up a whole page. Some smaller, we can put a few on a page. But people are now want to buy his work. And they are buying these sheets of work that he does every day. And I'm thinking, well, damn, where did I go wrong? And he's selling them for about $80 to $120 a sheet, which is about where you should, I think, for artwork. It might sound like a lot to some people. I think that's actually right about where it should be. And people are buying them. I've always said, and I think part of it is just because they like him. He's this funny character. And when you give people attention on camera, people like that. Like when you respond and somebody asks you to do something and then you actually do it, people like that. And I've always said, when it comes to art, people buy the artist, not just the art. And that's wrong, actually. So if they like you and they're really entertained by you, they will get your stuff. They will buy your whatever it is that you're selling. And that was my little tip of the day, I guess. His face is actually even longer than this. I'm going to put damn bugs. But I don't know. So I'm thinking, should I try and go live more often? I'm not like these young guys that are in their 20s. There's, I hate to say it, but there is an appeal there for a lot for younger people. I don't know, sort of. I mean, Mark Crilly does all right, and he's older than I am, and he does very well. I think if he did the same thing, he would. If he did something like that, he'd clean up. But he does novels. He does all right. He doesn't need TikTok for that kind of thing. He does all right on his own. There are some, I shouldn't say, there are some actually older people who are doing really, really, really well on there. And somehow I need to figure out how to cash in on that. It's a little bit difficult because as a Canadian, we're not part of the creator program for some stupid reason. I'm going to kill this fruit fly when I can. It's driving me bonkers. I've still got 3 people watching. No, I like the story. 1 second, I should check. I posted something on Mama Cass's birthday, so. Dylan, have you ever gone on TikTok much? Like, have you tried it at all? No, he's gone. He's not on there. It's a bit weird. It's a bit of a weird place. I'm not sure I'm really actually that big on it. But if it draws people over here and I can generate some interest, that nose is the wrong shape. It's up a bit more. The elbow comes down a little bit lower. Maybe. This isn't going to be quite, I guess. Sorry, I'm not saying a whole lot. I've been yakking all night, and I feel like maybe now I've kind of run out of things to say. If anybody has any questions. Oh, that shirt's way over. He really is kind of wide here, isn't he? This isn't going to be quite right, but that's okay. It's interesting he's holding this glass in front of him. Usually that's you avoid things like that when drawing. You don't want things overlapping like this. You try to silhouette something. So which means that if this was a black silhouette, you should see still what the character is doing. So you try not to bunch things up in front of the character. If the character is pulling something out of let's say he's a magician. That was the first example I remember we used was a magician. He's pulling a rabbit out of a hat. You don't want to have him holding the hat and pulling the rabbit directly in front of him. It begins to get too cluttered in the drawing. So you need to be more clear. And so you'd have the character stand, and it would be much more theatrical. And he'd hold the hat out, and he'd reach in, and he'd pull the hat out from the side. So if it was completely black, if you had blocked in the whole bit of action, you would still see exactly what was going on. It would still make sense because everything would be silhouetted. If that makes any sense at all. But it just design-wise, it works so much better. I'm going to switch to the kneaded eraser. The nose is still kind of the wrong shape. I'm being over fussy here with this, I know. And it's a shame the whole industry has changed. I would try and get back into a studio if I can. I think that would be a lot of fun. I think I'd really enjoy getting in on a project. But studios are the two problems. Studios are really different these days. Studios are just not what they used to be. The way I learned everything, the way I did everything is all completely different than what it is now. So it's not a matter of being able to draw. It's just that the technology is all different. And certainly I'd be able to learn it. That's not the problem either. Studios just aren't going to take the time to train. I was telling me, we'll just get in there. You're good. They'll show you how everything's done. You go into a studio, I'll tell you right now, they don't want to spend the time or the money training you on anything they don't have to. And if there's a person that comes in that is already tech savvy and is already can do everything, they're going to hire that person. I come in there and I'm old school. They're not going to train an old fogey like me. They're not going to take the time to do that. That costs money. That costs people to do that. It costs time. They're not going to do it. So they might, because maybe they might be using some form of, computer software that might be a little bit different than maybe what you're used to learning on. But if you already have the general idea of how it's done, then maybe they'd be a little more willing to help just bring you up to speed if they feel that you are useful enough in that studio setting. But if they can hire some other young guy that's come out of school, that's already been trained on that kind of tech, I don't know anything about Maya. That's apparently the name of the software they use is Maya. Don't know anything about it. His glasses are lower. That's what the problem is. I could just ink this now. But if you can get into a school, like I appreciate the fact that people still want to do traditional animation. There's not many places that teach it anymore. It is all digital. I would love to see them start producing more traditional stuff. But even in traditional animation, they're still using a lot of tech that is new, modern day stuff. You look at a film like Claws. That's a great film, by the way, if you haven't seen it. It's on Netflix. It should be your new yearly Christmas viewing, that movie. It is, I love it. I love that film. But even that, it is traditionally animated. It looks kind of like it should be 3D, but it's not. It's because there's no lines. They eliminated the lines, and it's but you can tell by the movement that it's traditional animation. Yeah, it threw people off watching it. It threw me off the first time I saw it. What a gorgeous looking film. I mean, I would love to work on something like that. But yeah, sadly, the tech is just different. No, that's not perfect, but it doesn't really matter, I guess. So I'm going to add another layer, turn down that. Now I want to find a good inker for this. Rusty nib. I have something called, that's really rusty. Oh, need something not quite that rusty. I have this set of markers, as you can see right here. This subtool called Rusty Nib. All of these is a set is called Rusty Nib off of True Grit Textures. It's a really nice big set of inkers, and oops. But they really are. I'm trying to find something. It seems to be really, really rough edge, and there's only one or two that are kind of smooth. And I'm trying to find something that's like right in the middle, but there's not. They're all kind of, I don't know, not big. I can't seem to find what I'm looking for. That's not bad. That might be all right. The interesting thing is with this drawing, there's no on the edges, it doesn't taper out. It actually just looks like a line that comes to an end. So on the edges, there is no this kind of thing on the end of it. It's right, but it does have a little bit of a wiggly effect to it, and I don't know to actually do that and make it look right. I'm not sure I can. But I'm just going to ink over this anyways, and I got to make sure these lines are not too big. It should be all right. And I might add, I'm going to turn my stabilization up. This friggin' fruit fly, I don't know if you can see it or not, but this fruit fly, I really want to kill it. I feel like maybe I should have some music on. Normally I'd be listening to something like a, I don't know, like a podcast or something like that. But I want to do this live, so I'm not going to do that. I love the backgrounds in this show. You can tell it was definitely like the backgrounds, the neighborhood they live in is such a British neighborhood. And it's those old style British homes that are all in rows. They're like, I don't know, they're kind of like townhouses, but they're huge, like rows of them, and they're really old. But they're really cute, these places. I really like them. That's not quite what I wanted. I wonder what it would have been like living in those places. I almost was. All my grandparents came. You know, everybody knows the story. All my grandparents came from the UK. My grandmother, on my dad's side, she was a very laid back, fun person. She wasn't very serious about much, but she held very tight to her British roots. I was really surprised. She visited the UK many times, and she would have gone more often. I think if they just could have afforded it and had the time, they would have gone. In fact, I think they considered moving back there a few times. But it just wasn't in the cards. But she was very serious about the royal family. I do know that you just did not speak ill will of the royal family around her, and she always gave me the impression that I keep hitting the thing button on this. She kind of, when I was really young, she kind of gave me the impression that everyone in the UK was like that. That they of course, I know now it's not true, but a lot of them would actually prefer just not to have a monarchy anymore. But she was she loved the Queen. My grandmother kind of looked like the Queen. Maybe that's why, I don't know. But yeah, you just didn't say anything bad about them around her. And I didn't know really much about them growing up, except that what we'd see on the news when Charles and Diana were married. That was big on the news. There was so much coverage of that on the news. That was such a huge deal there in the 80s. I forgot the rest of his hair. I'm probably being like way too fussy with this for some reason tonight. This shouldn't be taking me this long to draw this. But I want to get kind of a feel for the character anyways. And for the art style. This damn fruit fly. Oops. His fingers are really fat. They're short and fat fingers. But they're too fat there. Okay, fingers should not be giving me this much trouble. I do want to go back to London again one day, though. Actually, I want to go back to the UK and just visit everything. I just want to go back and see it all. Spend some time there. There are parts of London I do want to see again, though, that I didn't get a chance to. But if you ever go to London, be extremely careful with your cell phone. This is way too low. Okay, I'm going to move this. They have a horrible problem right now with cell phone theft. And it's been getting worse, apparently. It's not the past. Like you could, if you're out with a cell phone around London, keep it very close to you. If you're using Google Maps, try to just keep checking with both hands. Move against a wall. Keep an eye out around you. Check what you need to and put it away. Because what they do is they sneak up, and they're usually on motorcycles. And they'll pick a spot that's really busy. There's a lot of traffic. It's hard to tell, where vehicles are coming from. And they look for people who are out taking pictures or making a call, like a video call. It's not even up by their ear. And they come up and they drive right by you, and they have it down to like a fine science. They just reach out and grab it, and it's gone in a second. And I mean, it's gone. That's it. Once your cell is picked up, you don't get it back. That glass is way off. That's all right, though. I don't care now. You're not getting it back. Within minutes, they disappear on that bike, and those phones are within a couple of hours in another country, and your phone is gone. So they tell you, take a burner phone if you have to. They're not interested in your information. They're interested in just selling the phone off to get money for it. I'm going to fix that glass. So yeah, I think London is an amazing place to visit. I encourage I think if you have any interest, definitely go. It's something else when you're there. But be really careful of your phone, even a camera. Like I have a nice Nikon camera, which is a little hard to snatch off you. But even those have gone missing. I had mine tied around my neck, so that's a little bit hard. If you're a smaller person, even if it's tied to you, if you're a smaller person, they will drag you. They will drive by and grab it if they're strong enough to. They'll grab it and drag you until that snaps, and then they're gone with it. So I'm a heavier person, which makes me a more difficult target in that respect. But yeah, the police will tell you, like if you're hoping to get your phone back, forget it. It's gone. And they really, really are trying to combat that. You know, they've been going, what are the police doing? I mean, what do you do in that situation? It's growing out of control. Whoops. Shit, that's not what I wanted. My finger should be kind of... So fortunately, I was made aware of that situation before I left. So when I went last year, you'd see there's a lot of people on motorbikes in black all over. It seems to be a common thing to drive a black motorbike dressed in black. You'd see them all over. So you don't know who is actually a thief and who isn't. So, yeah. So if I need to check, because I was constantly having to check Google Maps, but I would move against a wall, make sure I had full vision everywhere around, checking around, grab my phone out, looked. So I'm looking, keeping my eyes up and down. and backed away. If I saw anything coming, I backed away. They are apparently on foot as well, but they're more common on motorbikes, but they have been around on foot. So there's that. It's weird that it's London. Like Toronto doesn't have that issue. Right? Like, I don't know if anywhere else it does. So anyways, that's Bob. I'm not going to bother drawing the bottom part. I don't know if I should bother coloring him or not. 3:30. I was up till 5 anyways. I could kind of just do a quick color here. I'd love to see them bring the show back. So what I'll do is on the top layer that's inked, I've made the sketch invisible now. You can see that disappear. It's not the best inking job, but it'll do for now. The ink I've added, you click on this little lighthouse symbol. I'm down to 1. And it makes this top layer a reference so that as I add color to a blank layer underneath, it'll still say within those lines. So I just add some color really quick. And I'm also going to lock it so I don't accidentally add color on the wrong layer. Slightly lighter than that. That's about the color. And the skin color is kind of a pink, although depending on the picture I'm looking at, some colors are darker than others. But his nose is definitely more red. Everyone left. That's all right. I'm going to go to bed pretty soon. His eyes are white. That's all right. We'll actually do an actual white in the eyes, so it's not same thing with the glass. And his collar. His hair is brownish. Weird that that's not filling in. And his nose is more red. Oops, I got that pretty good. So there he is, anyways. That's Bob. And we're going to call it with this. Oh, it's got 2 people in tonight. So I almost want to put out a petition to bring back Bob and Margaret. But I don't know who would produce it. Nelvan is gone. I just want to work on it. So anyways, that's it. That's pretty straightforward, pretty simple character. I spent way too much time on it, but I'm yakking away, and I was being a little overly fussy with it. So yeah, if I don't know if anyone else has any questions. Now's the time to ask. I'm going to be I'm trying to determine whether or not to put out a coloring book or not. It will either be a coloring book, or on Gumroad I can upload individual sheets, and that can be downloaded. So as opposed to a book, or maybe what it could be is that there'll be individual sheets, and they will be $1 each, and then say if you get 10, it's like $8 or something like that, right? So you pay a little less if you want to get all 10, and if you want to get 20, it's maybe 15, something like that. We'll do. But I've got on they're on this, so you can't see them; it's too bright. So there's really simple, silly kind of drawings. It's sort of fun storybook. Stop that. Storybook type images. Just some weird, wonky stuff for fun. That'd be really fun with like these big shapes. And have all broken down, and you can just kind of color them in. But I thought it might be fun to do something like that. The kids can color in. But I still got to figure that out, and I want to do about 10 to 15 more of those. I'm working on a little bit of test animation because I haven't animated anything in a while. So I've worked on like a head turn that I've done. If you can see that or not, but that's actually, you know what? I should just close this off. We're done with Bob for now. Let's close off Bob. Let's save Bob first. We should save our shit. So file, save as Bob. I have to fix his hair. I'll put that on. Let's see, that is a JPEG. All right. So I was doing a little. Now this is just in normal Procreate. I want to open up Procreate Dreams and redo this, but I'm testing kind of and you see there's volume problems galore. I can kind of see that he moves and blinks. So yeah, stop giving me oh, shut up. Thumbs up your ass. So there you can kind of see the head turn. But there is some issues with that, but that's fine. Another one here where he's just to be more expressive, but wow, that's got problems now that I'm looking at it. That's terrible. I can do a little better than that. I might redo that when I open up Procreate Dreams, but I didn't start to be animation. It was going to be something else. And but I got kind of playing with the animation program on this, and I thought, oh, let's see what I can do with it. And it was more awkward than I remember it being. So I was never a real great animator. That's why I actually preferred doing layout. I preferred doing the background. I like drawing the character. And even putting them in not animated poses, not keys that way, but just path of action indication drawings, if I can put it that way. It's not even the right terminology. I was doing some stuff on TikTok earlier. I did a live. It was kind of take a couple of requests, and I'd worked on this. This is now done by hand. But what an awkward thing, because I had the camera up like this and I'm trying to draw underneath it, and that's why this guy turned out really wonky. But yeah, so Shiny Penny, if anybody recognizes who this is not Disney. But I don't think nobody responded on there. But I don't think too many people are going to know who that is. But I'd be curious to know if anyone knows who that might be. 70s television, 70s and maybe 80s television. I want to say Jay Ward. It wasn't Jay Ward that did this. If you do know him, you can hear the voice. You can hear the voice if you recognize that character. Anyways, I think that's maybe what I'll do for now. Well, this was not what I expected it to be tonight, but and this was way too late. I was hoping to have done this earlier. Eventually, I'm going to try and do some lives. I would really like to do them earlier in the day. I really would. Reason being is I'd like to start getting, like if I could, I don't mean, when I mean earlier, I don't mean like 8 or 9 o'clock. I mean like around noonish. That way I can get some of the West Coast from the morning, and I can get some of my UK people who are later in the day around dinner time. And that way I can kind of get both audiences in there. So that's going to be one of my goals eventually, if I can. But I'm working, so it's going to be hard come October 14th. And I really want to do some stuff for Halloween, but October 14th, I'm picking up extra hours for somebody, a coworker who's going for surgery. And so I'm picking up those extra hours, but, work, I need to get my website up so I can get some work on t-shirts, really quick. I think I've shown this before. This is one sample. I'm going to add some more stuff on shirts. I want to get what people are interested in, but this was a test run of the Doctor Who Regeneration Cat. People like those. I can actually get more of these made up if I would like to. Maybe I'll start wearing these to conventions so people go, hey, where'd you get that? And I did it. It's on my table. Come get one. So, but conventions are hard because you don't know what sizes you need to get for people. Because you don't know who's going to buy them. But the to order them online, though, is easy to do that. So, anyways, Doctor Who Cat. I have to call him Regeneration Cat because I can't use the name Doctor Who. I have so much, and I got to start getting another camera hooked up so I can do physical work with physical media as opposed to always using this, and I'll have it over top. And I need to get that set up because that's going to be a pain in the butt to get that done properly. Because I'm going to have 2 cameras going at once into 2 cameras and a mic, all going into the computer to stream out, as well as it's got to go in through Streamlabs. It won't be on. I'm using Talk Studio right now. I don't think I'll be able to do that with this. You could. I don't think it looks right. And you're limited on how you can do the layout. So once I get that overhead set up, and I should start working on that soon. So the sooner the better. And then I can start doing, because people like to see physical work. They like to actually see the physical. I don't even need to be on camera. Most of the other artists I see doing this sort of thing, you just have the downward shot and you see their hands doing it and you hear them talking. I don't need to even necessarily be on camera. It's nice and all. I see some people doing that, but don't have to. I want to bring back Art Block. I want to start getting some people on here. There's a few people, a few new artists I've come across. I'd really love to get have on for like interviews. If I can get Art Block going, that'll have to be on Wednesday nights. That would be nice to get going. I want to get the guy from ADC Art Attack. He's funny. He's from the UK. I like him. And there's another guy from the UK I just discovered, and I can't think of his name. But I want to get these guys on here. I think these guys are great. We just have them both on at the same time. Wait, is it ADC or ACD? No, ADC, I think. Is anyone familiar with them? Do you know who I'm talking about? Whoops, I've got Google open. I don't want Google. He's on YouTube. He was living in Germany and he just moved back to London. ADC Art Attack. Yeah, something about him I really just I find him very entertaining, and I like just watching this stuff and listening to him talk. So, but he's he does the same thing. He'll do the intro facing the camera, and then he does the downward stuff. And it's a pre-recorded video. I've got ideas for pre-recorded videos too, and I've got some stuff I want to work on. I was supposed to shoot one last week, and I got called into work. Just pissing me off constantly. Does he do lives? I wonder if he does lives. Hold on a second. I really should get going here. I can check all this later. He does. Last one was a month ago. I would love to see his. I've never been able to catch one of his lives. Yeah. Anyways, I should go and let everyone else go. I see I only have two people viewing. Dylan, I don't know if you're still there, but if you are, thanks for hanging on, man. It's what, 12, almost coming at 1 a.m. I think where you are. But yeah, thank you so much for popping in. I really appreciate it. You've been like really kind of loyal to both Josh and myself, and it's you're one of the few people that actually come in here and reply to stuff, and you'll chat and whatnot. But thank you though for popping in. Whoever the other viewer or viewers are, thank you so much. I'm always trying. I'm always trying to get on here when I can. It's just a combination of work and just also my physical exhaustion. Sometimes I have to just push through it somehow, and sometimes I'm free one night and I really should, but there's this sense of is it worth it kind of thing, right? And sometimes I just got to push through it because I need this to turn into something a little more important for me, because time's ticking away. Life isn't forever. And I want this to mean something in the end. So anyways, thank you all. You are all amazing people. I appreciate you all. Take care. I would be on tomorrow, but I work, and then my friend's coming in from out of town. So there goes Sunday, maybe Monday. Monday would be nice to do something. I have the whole day. I will try and plan something for earlier if I can. Take care, everyone. Be good to each other, and we'll see you in the future.